FBI files have revealed that the agency's former director, James Comey, had his statements on Hillary Clinton's misuse of a private email server heavily edited. A U.S. Senate committee has been reviewing some of the changes to the documents. Here's just some of what they found then. First, there were repeated edits to reduce Hillary Clinton's culpability. Besides that, there are also references removed about the intelligence community's role in identifying vulnerabilities. And the Senate committee picked up on a downgrade of likely hostile actors that may have penetrated Secretary Clinton's emails. It's a twist, too. Some of the agents involved in the editing, it seems, were part of the same investigation team into allegations of collusion between Trump and Russia. Caleb Maupin breaks it all down.
It turns out that detective work is not only for the FBI. At this point, many different U.S. institutions are engaged in investigations, and it can get pretty confusing.
Trump-Russia investigation.
Right. A criminal investigation into President Trump for possible obstruction of justice.
I've reopened the Clinton investigation.
Investigation into a 2010 uranium deal that involved Russia.
I'm not a fan of the investigation.
First, there was the probe into Hillary Clinton and her time as Secretary of State, when she used a private server for her emails and compromised national security. We can call that probe number 1. After that, lawmakers who were unhappy with the results launched a probe of their own to investigate the FBI's initial probe. We'll call that probe number 2. This found that one of the FBI investigators, Peter Strzok, exchanged pro-Clinton and anti-Trump text messages with his colleague.
Electronic records show that Peter Strzok changed former FBI Director James Comey earlier draft language describing Clinton's actions in handling classified materials from, quote, grossly negligent to extremely careless.
So one of the FBI agents who was doing the investigation may not have been completely impartial. Now, I hate to bring it up again, but we all know about the ongoing investigation into allegations of Russia-Trump collusion. We can call that probe number 3. So Agent Strzok is the link that connects all 3. He was investigating Hillary Clinton, and he himself was investigated in probe number 2. And he was investigating and working on probe number 3 before he was fired over those anti-Trump text messages. Republicans obviously were not pleased.
He says Trump is an effing idiot. What the F just happened to our country? What happens when people who are supposed to cure the conflict of interest have even greater conflicts of interest than those they replace? That's not a rhetorical question.
At this point, it's pretty safe to say that the first 3 investigations were a mess. But Congress has come up with a solution.
Appoint a second special counsel to look into this, to look into Peter Strzok, Bruce Orr, everything else we've learned in the last several weeks.
You guessed it. More investigations. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.
Well, U.S. political commentator John Griffin believes more probes, more investigations are pointless, though, and may even be illegal, he thinks.
The bar has been set so low on this investigation, especially after all intelligence agencies have said that there absolutely was no impact on vote tally, and there's even disagreement as to whether or not Russia did intervene in the U.S. election, especially after the DNC now came forward and said that their leaks were not related to a Russian hack. So I think that any additional investigation would not only be superfluous, it would actually be a violation of double jeopardy laws and protections in the Constitution, and it would amount to nothing more than a witch hunt. I think this neo-McCarthyism needs to stop.